Greetings, Kooplings, and welcome back to the Nintendo Shack. The day is the 31st day of the 7th month in the year of 2019. Tonight we record episode 92 of the Nintendo Shack podcast. My name is Donnie, and I am one of the hosting power duo over here at PSVG. Joining me is my other half, Miss Caroline. Do you have a haiku for us this week?
I've been too busy playing.
Slacking.
Why did you say the 31st month, day of the 7th month?
I was just trying to mix it up a little. Okay. You know.
Happy birthday, Harry.
What?
Donnie has no idea where I just went with that, but Kevin will get it, and Devin will get it.
Patrons, she let you down. So we thank you. Hopefully we'll see her come back with a haiku next week. Let's start the show as we do each and every week. Caroline, what have you been playing? Have you been playing any video games at all? Like, anything?
I'm 37 hours into Fire Emblem Awakening. Or Fire Emblem Three Houses, excuse me, not Awakening. Oh my god! This game is legit. This game is probably going to beat out Awakening for my favorite Fire Emblem title.
I'm not nearly that many hours into it, but the 15-ish hours I've put into it, I would say it has the potential to do that.
I never realized that I needed a teaching in school mechanic to a game before until, like, I just spend an hour on exploration days just doing social stuff.
Yep.
I'm kind of an introvert, so the fact that I get my socialization, quote unquote, from talking to characters in video games is kind of nice. I feel not as exhausted from doing social interaction with people. So it is fantastic. If Persona is like that, I absolutely have to play that game because that is bar none the best part of the entire game.
You have to play Persona, but that's not what we're here for. I am playing the same game, so let's just go ahead and start breaking it down. We both got Fire Emblem on Friday. We've both been playing it basically ever since. You've played a lot more. We both got the Warfares edition. So let's start there. How do you like your special edition? How do you like your calendar?
Okay, so when you told me that it's going to be inside the Steelbook, I've never had a Steelbook before. This is my first Steelbook. I want to buy a separate case just of the case so I can put it on my shelf because I was thinking that it would be the plastic case inside of a steel cover.
And that's how the Smash cover is. The Smash Steelbook is a Steelbook that just wraps around a regular case of the game.
Oh, see, this is not.
This is not.
So,
it is a original Steelbook.
Beautiful, actually.
The Steelbook is gorgeous.
It's amazing, and the same art that's on the Steelbook is also on the front and back covers of the art book. I do want to probably just get an empty case so I can put it on my shelf.
I've got an empty case if you want it.
Yeah, I know, but I need, like, the paper cover.
You can print them, and if you did not know, Nintendo Rewards has printable covers. You can make your own.
I know, but at the same time, I want the official, like,
oh my god. It's still from Nintendo. Put Edelgard all over the front of that bad boy.
She's so good.
Okay, so we both like the edition. I agree with you. I really like the Steelbook. That's the reason why I bought it, and the Steelbook brings it. Everything else in the package I could really care less about. The soundtrack, the calendar, the art book.
The art book I haven't opened yet, but partially that's because I want to not.
You're about to tell us how great it was, and you're like, I haven't looked at it.
I don't want to spoil anything, like that might be drawn in there.
That's smart.
But art books are my favorite thing. I have maybe 15 art books over here on my shelf behind me, and they're being an artist myself. That's something that I crave.
I might need to price these extras on eBay and see what I can get for them.
Oh, how dare you?
I might. There's nothing in this thing that I care about except for the Steelbook. It is the only, why do we have a little calendar? I mean, look, we talked about this when it was announced, so we don't need to keep talking about it.
The calendar is actually, at first I was wondering why there's a calendar, but the calendar does play a really cool role in the game.
Yeah, but it doesn't on your desk.
So it's a memento. It's not meant to be functional.
Oh, okay. It does little momenting for me. Anyway.
I love it.
So we started playing the game. Spoilers, we've both picked the House of the Black Eagles. Now,
yes, that's my first route.
Of course, you're going to play it through them all. Did you do any research before you picked that, or was it just I picked it because of Edelgard?
I picked it because Edelgard, and oh my god, I am obsessed with her. Like, I think I might be more obsessed with her than Lucina. And Brian is kind of there with me. Every time we do tea now, he's like, "You're doing tea with her. Wait. And he like comes into the room and we both have to like watch her reactions to things. And she's perfect.
Hold that thought. In researching all of my reviews, I came across a review at Game Informer that said that the Black Eagle's house was the best route to take for the story.
The story, I'm not going to spoil anything,
don't.
But I can't see the other routes going the way that this does because there is a huge shock.
Right.
There have been 2 times so far that I have done things where it has given me like a heartbeat in the background. Boom, boom.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Boom, boom. This will drastically change the story. How do you want to continue? Twice that's happened. And I'm like, oh no. There was a battle. It is the most conflicting battle I've ever played in a Fire Emblem game, to the point that my dinner was ready and I spent 45 minutes doing this battle without getting my food. And Brian's like, your food's cold. And I was just distraught. I was emotionally distraught from the character and story events that were happening. It's fantastic. I know you're not there yet, so I'm not going to say anything.
I know about it.
Oh my gosh.
It's been somewhat spoiled for me. I know.
Oh, why? That's terrible.
I know about it. I stopped watching before it got to, but I know kind of what happens. So I'm not telling anybody not to pick the Black Eagles, although it is the right house to pick. But I have heard from multiple places that the best route is the Black Eagle route. So if you're going to play multiple routes, like if you're playing as the Golden Deer or the Blue Lions, I would just tell you to maybe take that in consideration. You don't have to play it like Caroline, but maybe down the road next year or something, maybe you come back to it. Maybe you play the second house because apparently it has a lot of narrative-driven stuff.
I should also mention that there's actually 4 routes.
What's the 4th one?
I can't say.
Okay. Well, then why did you say you have to mention it?
I have to mention
Don't
it.
you think it's weird to say that? I have to mention it. I can't tell you what it is.
I thought what I'm saying is I thought there would just be 3.
Right.
This changes things, and there's at least 4.
Okay.
And I know the names of all of them now.
You're going to play them all.
I'm going to play them all. I made a mistake and accidentally saved in the second save slot because they've got the autosave and then they have 3 save slots.
Correct.
And I thought that the top one was the autosave and I just wasn't paying attention. So I accidentally saved the middle of my Black Eagle route on a second save file. And I was like, crap. So I just saved over the first one again.
Yeah.
And now that I've done that, that was the biggest blessing in disguise because I won't have to go through the first half that I've played through again. I can just pick up from that part of the save and still experience another route.
Okay. So let's get back to it. So we both picked the Black Eagles and you went with for Edelgard. I went with for Dorothea. That's the whole reason why I picked it. Was because I wanted to romance Dorothea as my option. And I got to tell you, so I'm in chapter 7, chapter 8, something like that. I really like the kind of the cast of characters that the Black Eagle house has, more so than the other characters in the other houses.
I disagree with you on some things. There are some that are so insufferable that I went out of my way to recruit other people because I was sick and tired of hearing about them.
Let's pause for just a moment and let's say, who is your least favorite Fire Emblem character? And this comes from Professor Switch. Now, he also asked us another half to this question. We're just going to save that one for next week since this is the Fire Emblem show. So let's keep it. I think he meant for all the Fire Emblem. Let's keep it to just this game. Who's your least favorite Fire Emblem Three Houses character?
Caspar.
Really?
God, he's so annoying.
Why?
He's that obnoxious anime character in every single show that's just like, I'm the best, there's nothing wrong. I can do no wrong. I'm so angry. I'm going to kill everybody, but I'm going to feel conflicted doing it because I'm such a good guy. And I threw him out of my party on purpose.
Who did you replace him with?
So awful. I recruited Felix, who is a
I am
swordsman.
also recruiting Felix.
Dude, he's awesome.
I don't know who I'm going to swap him out for because I don't hate Caspar. Caspar reminds me a lot of Ryuji from Persona. I think when you play it eventually, I think you might agree. I kind of like it. It's not terrible.
Caspar was also super squishy. For whatever reason, I took him the path of... I kept him with the axe. I'm trying to think... See, originally wanted to do axe and brawling, but then I just did axe. And I think I took him to the warrior path or something. I don't remember. Jesus.
I'm probably going to swap him out, but not because I don't like him, because he's just my weakest in the house.
He's super squishy.
Yeah. My least favorite character in Fire Emblem Three Houses is Hilda, who is just the whiny brat little girl. So.
Oh my gosh. She is terrible. And I found out that 3 lost items that you pick up, you cannot give to her. I think it's just something that happened when they were coding the game. They didn't give you an option to talk to her about gifts or lost items. I think because she's Claude's right hand. If you've noticed, you can't speak or you can't give things to Dimitri and Dedue, or Dedu, whatever his name is.
Doduo. I know that character.
Nor Claude or Hilda, because they cannot be persuaded to join your house.
Yep.
And
that's good to know, because I've been talking to her every day because I'm holding something that apparently needs to go to her that I can't give to her.
You can't.
Yeah, it sucks.
It's annoying. There are 3 items, and I spent like 45 minutes trying to figure it out, and finally I just looked it up. I was like, who does this belong to? And then it says in parentheses, cannot give on the Black Eagle route. And I'm like, well, that's...
Sucks.
Counterintuitive.
Right. All right, so we talked about it. We've bantered around this bush a little bit, but this game is vastly different, somewhat, from Fire Emblem games in the past, because they've given us this exploration area, which is kind of...
it's vastly different. It's added to.
True, it's expanded upon greatly.
Yes.
We kind of dabbled with this in Echoes, but not nearly to this level. And while Fire Emblem has always had, support characters and friendships and romances, it was never done like in a mode like this, like in a separate thing. So we have the monastery, at least in the first half of the game, where you get to run around and talk to all these different characters and recruit them and give them lost items and go fishing and garden. And to be quite honest with you, when I was playing it, I was thinking, because, I should just go ahead and say this. I love it too. I keep doing it. I'm spending way too much time doing it. I know that I realize I'm not doing it correctly. But I also noticed while I was playing it that if somebody was to watch it or like look at somebody doing it on stream, it's probably like super underwhelming, because it's just a whole lot of fetch quests. But when you're building your house and building your characters the way you want to, it's very just rewarding. And calming and just kind of fun. You just kind of get used to it. Just keep running around. Good. It is good. Mm-hmm. It is good. And you get. I
had a dream. Like, okay, so I have to preface this by saying I really like Renaissance music. So, like, music where it's lute playing.
Are you into Renaissance culture?
Yes, I absolutely am. Screw you. I love lute music and, like, chant and Gregorian choir and stuff. So, anyway, I'm listening to that on Pandora while I'm falling asleep. And I just, like, had a dream that was, like, the backtrack, and I was exploring the monastery, and it fit so perfectly, like, with what I like to listen to. So I've had a dream already that I've been in this monastery.
Wow. It's too much, Caroline. It's too much. I realized, like, my first time I kept doing it because I kept wanting to do it. I've actually replayed a chapter because I didn't really like how I spent my time or my choices that I made. So I actually went back and hit my save, and I keep doing that. So if anybody, use your save files wisely if this is your first Fire Emblem. Absolutely. Like, don't just keep saving over the same file, because you may get to a point where you're like, I could have answered that differently. I could have changed something there, and I want to redo it. And so I've already done that once. And I'm just kind of wasting time. Hilda's perfume's the only thing I'm carrying, because I make sure every day I answer every question, I do every activity, I garden every day, and I go and talk to everybody, and I give everybody their lost item.
I should say you should probably just save one day out of the month for exploration, because only one day out of the month, or every month, the dialogue and the positions of people and lost items change.
Sure.
Every other month, or every other week out of the month, I would devote to battling, because I was severely underleveled a couple of times, and battling is really the best.
So I wanted to ask you about that, because every time you go into a story mission or a side battle, they give you a recommended level. Do you feel like that's been pretty good, or do you feel like it's been misleading?
I think it's been a little bit on the easy side. I went to one today where it said recommended level 29. And I have some characters that are around the 24, 25 stage, and then other characters that are 38 to 40. And I don't know, some of the 38 to 40 ones got super wrecked early, and then the other ones were just fine. So it's all really a random event and occurrence of how things works. Yeah. It's a nice guideline, but I don't think that it's as appropriate as it could be.
Are you doing all of the side quest battles, or are you maining the mainline battles?
I'm doing all paralogs, yes. All the paralogs will show up in green. I've been trying to take advantage of the red exclamation marks as they come up, which are rare beasts. Yeah, pretty much just paralogs.
Does every month and every week allow you to keep replaying the battles if you want?
There are 2 that are replayable every week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a great way to just grind it out. If you're under leveled, or if you need to level a specific character, you can just take them in there and just grind it out.
The game does a pretty good job of giving you quest battles for the monastery every month. Yep. Just so you're not avoiding it.
Cool. So I just really wanted to say so far, I mean, I'm not as far as you in the story, so I can't speak on the grand terms. But a few surprises. I came in wanting to romance Dorothea, and I already have an A support with her. Because I'm 100% focused with her. Byleth doesn't leave her side, thirsty. And she gets every gift in the game. So I'm well on my way there. And she's not bad, but I gotta tell you, I don't like her as much as I like Edelgard. And I don't like her as much as I like Bernadetta.
Bernadetta is kind of insufferable too.
I love her to death.
After the time skip. She's better after the time skip, but all of her support conversations for C are just the same boring drabble.
I love her. How dare you? Stop it. How dare you?
Her haircut in the time skip is questionable. It's
really?
It's a bowl cut.
Oh, like no.
It's a bowl cut here and around the back, but then the back of her hair is like a mullet, so it's like
that sounds
2 long
terrible.
Pieces of
that's
hair down
awful.
the back. Her color scheme's nice, but
no, that's terrible. But I do like her. She's super cute, and I like that she's like the little introvert, and she's completely holed up. And it's like I think I already told you this, but I've taken to her like if you had like a dog in a game or something, it's like nobody better hit Bernadetta. It's like at all costs I have to protect her. Like how dare you?
I have to tell Brian that you said that because he and I are just on the cringe train with her.
I love her. She's so cute.
Everything she says is just. I put her with Caspar, actually.
Oh no! So
she's my best archer, though. She's unbelievable.
I do break her. So the way I'm playing it with the House Eagles so far is I'm playing with So basically, Byleth, Dorothea, and her are like a little team, and those 3 never like really separate. And then whoever the mage guy is, Hubert, whatever he is, right? Hubert. He always goes off. He's like, I have him, but he's pretty powerful. He's definitely my best magic guy, and he's pretty strong. Edelgard is just a tank. Like, I don't even pair her off with people.
Did you see what I said in the Discord earlier?
She levels up so fast. Is that the same for you?
She's like level 39 for me right now, and everybody hits her. She has no damage. Give her a shield, number 1. Give her a silver shield. She gets no damage. And she does the, reciprocating attack if somebody comes at her.
And just one hits everybody?
One hit. Right? Dead. Boom. Oh, just wait till you get her, evolved class, like just from the time skip. It's called Armored Lord. You don't even need to do anything else.
Nice. I like her advanced like class costumes too. Like, all those are real good. Dorothea, dresses up real well in advanced class stuff.
Let me just say, there will be a point in, like, month 12 where you have a ball.
Nice.
And it's like a little dance and stuff. You can't ask anybody because that would be inappropriate. That would be inappropriate. But they have a thing that month where there's a dance of the white something. And you pick a member of your class to compete. And it's based off of charm stats. So whoever's got X charm, if you're over a certain limit, I think if you talk to Manuela, she'll tell you what you have to be over in order to win. That character will get access to an exclusive dancer class. And it really benefits Dorothea, number 1, because she's already got the charm level to do it. Number 2, because it's for dancing is magic related. So I had her on path to be mage and warlock. She was already warlock, and dancer is just better than going grimoire for her.
Oh, so wow.
I've set her as like dancer permanently, and she gets double hits on everything.
I have her as a mercenary right now. So I've been thinking about that today. I have way too many swords. Like I'm basically
gotta go mage. She is magic type. Like, I mean, she is meant to be.
But she can
type.
still do that, though. She still has those, even with her sword skills.
But what I'm talking about is they kind of lean you into doing that because she already has a large faith skill. I mean, not faith, reason skill. I would definitely, like, push her that way.
I don't want 3 mages. That means I got to move one of my other guys. I have to think about that. I'm going to have to think about it.
I wish I had more archers. I did recruit an archer from the Golden Deer. I'm doing Golden Deer next. And then I'm going to go back and do the split route from Black Eagle. And then I'll do Dimitri's house.
My issue is especially if I recruit Felix and I'm replacing an axe with another sword. And I already have a ton of swords. I got to move somebody off of it.
Dude, Edelgar gets an axe. Have you given her a sword?
No. She's an axe person for me.
She has an amazing axe.
Yeah.
She has an amazing axe in the...
Oh, I see it. She's a beast. She's absolute monster.
I'm just saying, time skip, she gets one of the main 10 weapons axe.
So I knew they told me this, but in playing, I completely forgot. How do you recharge the super sword weapon?
So for you rest on an off day, and it recharges...
Good. That's what I thought.
There is you can do it through the blacksmith. I think you have to have umbral steel, but you have to have 2 of them, and they're not exactly
and it's super a lot of money and all that, and nobody wants to do that. You got to rest. I got to start resting more. Who's the other guy in the Black Eagle's house? You've got Hubert and then the other guy.
Linhart.
Yeah. So I have him as a mage, or a priest.
He's inseparable, too. He's a good priest.
So that's the thing. I don't want to have him and Hubert and Dorothy. That's too much magic.
But you need a priest. Priest is different than a mage.
Yeah, I know. It's too many. I like beating up people.
You can recruit Manuela soon, and she's a priest. So she's very good. Because
I was thinking about making Linhart an archer. I like him. He's kind of funny.
He sleeps all the time. He's one of my 3 least favorites. Now, Ferdinand.
I might move him out.
I'm a noble. Dude, no. You have got to up his lance and riding skills and make him into a paladin. He's amazing. He doesn't get it.
I already have him as a cavalry guy. I just don't like him because every time you select him, he says his name. And that's annoying.
I'm Ferdinand von Eyre.
I hate that. I can't stand that. Like, I'm 7 chapters in, and I'm like, shut up! We know your name!
In the time skip, his hair gets all long, and Brian's like, he looks like the Beast's human form in Beauty and the Beast. And I'm like, yeah, he does!
I'm totally moving him now.
Oh, no, he is amazing.
He's out.
He has gone. 50 plus health right now on me.
Don't care.
And
Losers swing lances. What a loser with his stupid little pole vault.
No,
get out of here. You're done. You're out of here. He's out.
So
long live Caspar.
I'm going to come over there and choke you. There's a paralog that gives you a great lance, and you give him that lance. It's called the Spear of Assault.
I'm telling you, now that I think about it, I changed my answer. I can't take him. I can't. So, like, every time you select a person, they have, like, a hi-ya thing. They're like, hi-ya, yeah. He literally says his name. And
just the first move of battle.
And it sucks. It keeps going. We get it now. We got it.
Can't be worse than Caspar. Put me in.
That's better than his name. What if he said, I'm Caspar of blah blah? Shut up. I can't do it. That's insufferable. That's too much. That's obnoxious. Quit saying your name. He's out. Now that you're thinking about it, yeah, Felix is coming in. Ferdinand, you gotta go. With your stupid
take. You're making a mistake.
I wouldn't touch him with a 30-foot pole. Pun intended.
You're gonna wish you had
Pun intended.
Really long. Oh man, he runs and then he can run backwards. He took out every single person in the match that I had today that needed to be taken out in order to keep reinforcements from arriving. He just ran around the entire circumference of the map and did it all in a matter of like 5 turns.
It's not worth it. All right, anyway, we got to move on. We'll just turn this to a Fire Emblem conversation. Let's talk about all the characters. I'm sure everybody's tuned out already. Let's talk. I mean, I just want to say, like, we didn't really talk about the battling system and all that. Battles, game. I think it looks good. I was hoping for more, to be quite honest with you.
Like what?
I think the character models, especially like in Portable, just like a tad edgy. You know, I was kind of hoping for the HD experience. I was hoping for it to be a little bit more HD than it is. Even like running around the monastery and stuff, there's a lot of flat textures and stuff. I mean, it's not bad. I wouldn't I wouldn't like dock it, but I mean, just to bring it up, there are people out there that care about those types of things. It's not like the greatest looking game.
You have to understand, we've been going from 3DS games to this.
Yeah, but there is, and when you blow up a picture like that and you go to HD, then you lose a lot that you had with like sprites and fuzzier textures. It made a little more sense in that style. Now that it's more in this style, it just doesn't look as good.
What I'm saying is that, to me, I think it's huge difference because I don't play huge HD games like that, and I've been used to seeing everything on a 480p screen.
Yeah, if you played like a Persona, I think your opinion might change a bit. I mean, I'm just bringing it for comparison's sake. It's not that it looks bad. It doesn't look bad. It's totally playable. I'm just saying, if you go and look up like a YouTube video of the game or a screenshot, like don't expect, it doesn't look wonderful. It doesn't look great. We had this in here. We should talk about this at least a little bit. Nintendo last week, they did confirm that they've recast the role as male Byleth, and they removed Chris Niosi as the voice actor. I read a little bit about this, I think a few people in our Discord. I read 3 or 4 paragraphs and was like, ugh, and I just turned it off. So good on them for replacing him. I don't really care. You play as him. I don't. I'm playing as a girl Byleth, so it doesn't even matter to me. I don't care.
So it didn't really, him coming out and apologizing shouldn't have been the reason, and then I found out it wasn't the reason. Apparently, in one of his apology posts, he mentioned that he had been boasting about the fact that he was voicing a character in Fire Emblem Heroes.
And I had read on other blogs that he had basically been telling a lot of people that around for a while.
Yeah, it's part of the non-disclosure agreement. And Nintendo said, I don't know if at this point it's worth it to replace him completely and do his voiceover again. I don't know. It's not much. He does a few hayas and one-liners, and that's about it.
They got all of that in storage with Link. Just make him Link's voice.
I would not be opposed.
All right, let's get into the news block. We should note that Switch Lite pre-orders went up yesterday. And they went up everywhere. They're on Amazon. They were on Best Buy. If you think Walmart went up, Target's went up. They're selling well. They're still available, so they're not sold out or anything. But if you were wanting one of them when they were announced a couple weeks ago and you were wondering, they're up now. So if you want one, go ahead and get one. Are you getting one, Caroline? Did you ever come to decide? You don't get Brian a Switch?
I'm not going to bite right now. I think that I'd be better off waiting for something higher end. I don't know.
Okay.
We'll see.
We're picking up the Pokemon really one.
Pretty, though.
The turquoise one I saw, Amazon I think is selling turquoise best, but I've also read a lot that the yellow is the hardest one to come by, and that's the one that the listings went down on early and whatnot. I mean, they're all still out there and available, so I don't really think we have any idea on which one's selling better than the other one. But I'm getting the Pokemon for Jack. Yep, we got in, so maybe I'll do an unboxing or something. I'm looking forward to it. I don't think Jack is not.
You're getting a cool case. I saw that they've got a little white
they have a matching case and everything for it. It looks so good, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
I don't think Jack's going to like how much I play his Switch. Give me your Switch. But we have a lot of game announcements, a lot of one-liners, but just a lot of updates. So big news that came out this week is The Outer Worlds, the sci-fi RPG from Obsidian that is coming to Xbox. The company that bought Obsidian owns them. It's coming to everywhere else too. Is releasing on Nintendo Switch. This came via a YouTube video where the director came on. It's worth noting that it's coming after release. It's not coming day and date. Right. So everybody's going to play it on October 25th. We don't know when we're going to play it. Virtuous is the studio that's handling the port. This is the same team that did Final Fantasy XII and the same team that did Dark Souls Remastered. If you remember Dark Souls, not saying it will, I'm just saying Dark Souls Remastered had a long delay right before launch. And it was, delayed even further than we expected. So I don't know what that means. But it'll be very interesting to see the comparisons.
The fact that it's coming is a big thing.
It's a big game. And this is a game that's coming to PlayStation 4 and Xbox. It's not an Xbox One exclusive. It is a Game Pass game. So if you have an Xbox, you don't have to pay to play it if you have Game Pass. But this game is getting really high praise in previews. It has this BioShocky Fallout kind of thing. Yeah, everybody really seems to like it. People that went hands-on with it, everybody really likes it. So, I would expect it to, this should be a good get. And, we'll see how downgraded it is by the time it gets there, what we're talking about. I always I take everything with a grain of salt now when it comes to Switch. Obsidian also revealed that they're bringing Pillars of Eternity, the complete edition, to Switch. It comes out next week on the 8th, and it's $40. It's a pre-order discount of $10. It's originally $49.99. They're dropping it $40, and it includes everything that's in the PC version. All the DLC, all the controls have been reworked for Switch and everything. Have you ever played that game?
Mm-mm.
I never got into RPGs, especially on PC.
Somebody said that Pillars of Eternity was good, though.
People love it. That's the only thing I was going to say. It reviews really, really well. It's been played for a long time. And, they're priming the engine. They have Pillars of Eternity 2 coming out, so they're getting ready for that. Mm. Also coming out next week, Turok 2, Seeds of Evil HD. Now, when Turok 1 was announced for Switch, I said that I wasn't interested in going back to the original Turok, but that I loved Turok 2. I'm totally picking this up next week because it still looks old, but it's super crisp and bright, and then they've everything still looks old, but it's all done modern.
I think physicals are coming from limited run on these.
Yeah, I'm not gonna wait. I'm just gonna pay the $20. We didn't talk about this last week on Shack, which we should have, but Doom 2, and Doom 3 were stealth launched by Bethesda out on Switch. Yep. They are $5 and $10 respectively. I have zero interest to go back to the original Doom.
No, me either.
But Doom 3?
People are just waiting on Doom Eternal.
Doom 3 would be pretty cool to go back and play. I think that might be, it's a cheap little, first-person shooter. Get your shooter on over there. Caroline, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Hold the desk.
I saw this, and then I realized that you were going to write it in.
There's a Suda update out there. He did an interview this past week where they were asked about the possibility of him bringing No More Heroes to the Switch. This is something he's been talking about since I interviewed him at MomoCon, to be quite honest with you. He mentioned it there. But this time he added a little something more. He said that Grasshopper, the company he's the president of and the company that now publishes Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes games, is in talks with Marvelous, the original publisher of No More Heroes 1 and 2, to port No More Heroes 1 and 2 to the PlayStation 4 and the Nintendo Switch.
I will play your series if they do this. Marvelous is good people. I can't see why they wouldn't.
He went on to say that it's going positively, and he hopes to have a good announcement for you soon. So this is interesting, because I wonder who would be doing the porting. I think it would be Grasshopper, unless they want to farm it out to somebody.
They're going to give it to Xseed if it's Marvelous, because Xseed is their...
So you're assuming that Marvelous is going to republish?
America.
I think they're asking for the rights to publish it. I think Grasshopper wants to publish.
That's an idea. I think if they don't get it, it would be Xseed.
Okay.
And Xseed does good work. They're my Story of Seasons Shantae people.
I don't expect them to remaster it. I think it would be too much of an effort. I think they would just bring the PlayStation... So PlayStation 3 got a complete edition of No More Heroes 2 with all the DLC and stuff in it. Mm-hmm. I think they would start there and then bring the original version up with it, which is interesting because then you got to start asking yourself, like, the controls. So you could play No More Heroes 2 with sticks and stuff, but No More Heroes 1 was best played with a Wiimote. So they probably need to touch the controls. Yeah. And then I wouldn't expect like an HD version unless there's some sort of, filter that they can just put the entire game under.
Doom is coming. I don't need to worry about it.
Yeah. So, but I'm still excited. I would probably buy them again, especially if they were physical. If they were physical and had like some sort of keychain or something that I could get, I would totally buy it physical. But I do have the games. I have the games already. So I don't know if I'd rebuy them digitally. I don't know, but very exciting news. Maybe that comes out before No More Heroes 3. I know we said this at E3. I just want to, since we're on this topic, I don't expect No More Heroes 3 to come out in 2020.
Oh, no.
Yeah. No. That's the date they listed it for, and that's the date that's on the website, but Grasshopper is not good with dates.
They had a cutscene. I'm sure. Trust me, I know. You'll be lucky to probably even get it before holiday 2020.
Killer 7, which was remastered, and then the remaster's not that great. Like, the controls are still wonky and everything, which is fine. That's kind of the charm of the game. That remaster took forever for it to hit PC, and it still hasn't made its way to consoles. So I'm just saying, I wouldn't hold your breath. Breath. This one's interesting. Captain Toad on Nintendo Switch has received Labo VR support. Now, I haven't played it yet. I haven't had the chance because I keep playing Fire Emblem, and I wanted to get to this before we recorded the show, and I just didn't. But it's still interesting. I remember a certain podcast that talked about Nintendo stuff in a shack when they bought Labo VR mentioning that Captain Toad was the perfect game to demonstrate this ability. I remember that podcast.
You're done. You're done.
Do you remember that podcast? Like I heard it.
I don't think I recall, but I think
really good hosts. Like I remember.
Stop.
This guy's real loud.
Yeah, I know. He's terrible, and he should probably put something in his mouth right now. Shut up. No, it's fine. You called it.
Yeah, and I still, I mean, I haven't played it yet, but I have seen reactions. The people that have played it, I think it's only a couple levels. It's like a little demo thing, but it's free update, and the people that have played it, they actually did say positive. I saw Game Explained did a video. They said it was good. I expect it is good because, again, it's like Captain Toad kind of is a VR game. Like it kind of is. You just play it on your TV, but like it's almost made to be a VR game. So I that's why I always thought it would lend itself well to it.
We should also mention that I noticed that the full VR kits quietly got restocked recently.
Ooh. Yeah, on Amazon or just on the Nintendo site?
Everywhere.
Ooh. Yeah,
everywhere.
Go get that.
So I'm probably going to have to pick it up.
It's interesting. So there's the two more interesting things. Nintendo Switch Online service in Japan are getting a free trial week period of Captain Toad. Did you see that? The full retail game that you can just subscribe and play. Wondering if that type of news is going to come our way?
Maybe. I don't know.
That's cool. I mean, that's the type of stuff that we were hoping for when they launched the program. They talked about exclusive discounts and stuff like that. We got Tetris, but that's it. Like, what else? Is there something else there?
Maybe it's a trial in Japan.
Mm-hmm. Maybe so. I mean, I keep bringing it up every time we talk about it. Jared said all those Nintendo Switch Onlines, they're coming up for renewal soon. I expect to hear something.
That's true.
So that makes a lot of sense. The Spyro trilogy drops on Switch in September. If you've been following this for a while now, if you may not know this, and this is why I put this in the notes, the original game, Spyro the Dragon, comes on the cartridge. Mm-hmm. The other games are downloadable. So Spyro 2 and like Riptide's Rage.
I hate that.
I mean, it's got to be a storage issue. Because the carts are...
For real, though?
So the PlayStation 4 version of Spyro is like 50 gigs.
Okay, I forget this is remastered.
Yeah, and they're gorgeous. They're beautiful.
I was thinking, for some reason, I was thinking of 3 PlayStation discs on one cart, and I was like, there's no way that can't fit. I get that. Yeah. That just bothers me. They did that with Mega Man. They've done it with so many things, and it just...
Yeah, and I would think that they could get 2 on the cart, but I don't know. I don't know how they're, like, does it automatically do it? So I was wondering, like, does this mean that there'll be separate releases on the eShop? Like, can I buy the second one without buying the first one and that type of stuff? Yeah, I don't know. And we send a fond farewell to YouTube on the 3DS. They are shutting down support for the little handheld on September 3rd. Did you ever watch a 3D video on your 3DS?
No.
I totally did. My kids watched a ton of YouTube time, yeah.
I had no idea that they could do that. Mm-hmm. That's cool.
Yep. Caroline, we had an update on Smash Brothers.
Yes. So we have a brand new version of Smash Bros. Ultimate out yesterday as we're recording this, version 4.0. We had news late last week that Sakurai was going to be coming out and talking to us about Dragon Quest Hero, the new DLC character. He did the video. It was about 20 minutes long in kind of a live stream format. He was, stream of conscious, not reading off a prompter pretty much. So this new version adds the hero from Dragon Quest, as we know, and their corresponding stage. I think it was called the Yggdrasil Tree something or the altar or whatever. And we get a new spear board based off of Dragon Quest characters like we did for Persona characters. So the hero, as we know, is 4 different Dragon Quest heroes, and he gave their names 11, which is from 11. Arusu, or as we know him, Erdrick from 3, Solo 4, and 8 is 8. And they each get a color variation for the full 8 different colors of the character. I did write the name of the stage. Yggdrasil Altar. It pans around an entire area in Dragon Quest XI. And this thing is pretty cool. It has chests that pop up every so often on these floating platforms. You can open it to gain an item, like they showed a beam sword. Or it is a possibility that they're not actually chests and that they end up being mimics and you have to defeat the mimics. So that's pretty neat. Interactive stages are always good. And then they also mentioned, along with the Dragon Quest stuff, they are adding new Mii Fighter costumes based off of the Dragon Quest series, available in the eShop for 75 cents each.
Still upset that the Mii Fighter costumes aren't included in the pass.
No, it's annoying, but that's how they make their money, I think.
I think Smash has already made its money.
You can but think of how many different things they release for Wii U, how many transactions you can have for those.
I know that. I bought them all on Wii U, so I'm good with that. I'd be very interested to see how they're selling now versus Wii U, because they like the Amiibo stuff. I'd be very interested in knowing that. But I would just say this. Now that they're charging for online and getting a renewal fee, maybe throw 1 or 2 in the pass every time you release a character. Throw a piece of it. Maybe give us the hat or the shirt or something and let you buy the other pieces. Something. Do something.
That sounds good. Yeah. 4.0 also adds the Final Smash meter, which basically now if you get a Final Smash, you can't just sit on it and wait to use it. It will go away. There's a meter that's draining at the bottom. If you don't use it, it'll just disappear. It also adds online tournaments, so people can make their own tournaments. I think that was up to 64 is what I saw on there. 64 different people. That's going to be huge, and I don't know if that's how they're going to be doing tournaments for games, at Smash events in the future, but that would be interesting. They added a new spectator mode where you can bet on fighters and exchange your betting points for items, which is similar to how you can buy items in the shops.
That's cool.
Just with your gold coins. Yeah, it's all right. They said you can't lose, so even if you don't win, you don't get as big of a reward as you would.
Right, but you get something.
Person won. And they also added a very easy setting to adventure mode. You noobs that you can't beat it on normal. Are you kidding me? You can't even beat it on easy?
Don't want to. Oh, I could beat it on normal. I just quit. I gave up, Caroline.
Those legend spirits, that Pauline fight was insane.
Yeah, I have no interest. I'm good. I did a lot of it.
I know.
When you were like, there's a whole other, I was like, oh, I'm done.
I loved it.
I thought that was the end. That's not the end. There's a whole other end. Never mind. I'm done.
I hope that the Labo spirits that got added that I missed out on that one weekend got added to the normal spirit board in 4.0, because they did that with some of the ones that originally came out. They made them permanent.
Cool. Well, Caroline, what if I told you there's a new Rabbids game coming?
Yeah, that's something, and it's not coming to us.
It's not coming. The Rabbids party game was announced for Nintendo Switch in China, and it will be shown at China Joy this week. It's developed by Ubisoft. What's that? Chengdu. And it is for Switch official launch in China. Now, it looks like it sounds. It is Mario Party with Rabbids.
Yep.
Which, to be quite honest with you, if you've ever liked the Rabbids, I kind of thought was awesome. I watched it, I was like, that could be a lot of fun, because they're super funny.
Yeah, I did some research into it. Apparently, they have a TV show in China based off of the Rabbids, and it's the most popular show with kids, which is why they're getting this.
Yep. And it's worth mentioning that Nintendo and Tencent will have a joint press conference on August 2nd in Shanghai to talk about the Switch launch in China.
Tencent.
Oh, they're about to get paid.
They own everything.
Do you think Switch units sold in China will count towards global figures?
That's a good question. I wonder if it'll be separate.
Because they could really pad their stats.
Word. Seriously.
They could really pad their numbers.
I can imagine that they would probably do it separately.
Do you think Tencent had a big role to play in the Switch Lite coming to market?
No, they're just a producer. I don't think that they're, they don't have a say in it. I think this was on the table from Nintendo from the beginning.
I want to see the news, because I want to know, does the entire Switch catalog launch in China? Does the Switch Lite launch in China? Because I think the Switch Lite would do better.
It might.
And it's just cheaper and all that. Would. So, yeah, exciting stuff. Not for us, but out there. I'm sure it'll be interesting, we can buy games on the Japanese shop. Can we ever get into the China server?
Probably not.
Probably not. Yes.
A lot of issues with China and trade.
Somebody's going to find a way.
Somebody's going to have to.
Unless it's completely walled off, separate, and it might be it might be
what's going to happen. I think it will be. They probably will have their own servers and everything. It'll probably be a separate regional
closed network.
Yeah.
Somebody's still going to find a way. They'll IP address something. Somebody will find a way.
We'll see.
That's why you got to keep that original Switch model so you can hack it and play the Rabbids game.
I told you that, and I can't believe you backed out of selling your thing just so you could
What?
keep it. You said you were keeping your original
Oh,
model.
I was. Oh, no. Let me correct that statement. For those of you that are just catching the conversation, Caroline and I were discussing the Switch Lite and the inability to hack it as they're putting in new protections and things like that. And I mentioned that everybody should, if you have any interest at all in possibly ever hacking your Switch long after the Switch is done, like I did my Wii U and all these classic consoles, then you need to keep one of these original versions, one of these first run versions.
Yeah. So this is what happened. I read about this quietly. This happened summer of last year.
Mm-hmm.
They made it where you can't hack it anymore. So those things that were running Linux in the beginning, those are like the OG original Switches from 2017. They stopped production, like maybe early 2018. And now they've come out with this new one. So did you sell that one?
It's my understanding my Pokemon one is totally hackable.
I thought it wasn't.
I've read folks that do it, and they have used that model. So
that's not. They must have had that built and ready to go for quite some time. Then
maybe I'm wrong, but that was my understanding because I followed it a little bit. I have never followed it to the point where I've ever tried, but I've watched videos on how to, and I've seen people use them. Okay. So yeah.
All right. Last game update. Last bit of news. Splatoon 5.0.0.
Finally.
Yeah. Updates available now as of today. Changes to private battles. We finally get all of the Splatfest stages that we had made for us over the past 2 years. You can add or customize the stage music. Pick whichever one of the shifty stations that they had. You get to choose your ink color combos. So remember that ketchup and mayo one?
Mayo.
That's everybody's favorite. That's everybody's favorite. And you know why. Exactly why. So I have a funny unsavory story for DLC that we'll have to say. I didn't like
playing that when that was on. I was like, oh.
Oh, no. I mean, like, it looks like ketchup and mayonnaise, but I have a funny story that goes with that particular Splatfest. We also got changes to gear. They're adding the Splatfest T replica. Its appearance will change to match the ink color of the player's team. And while playing in the Turf War Splatfest private battles, it will cause the team's name to appear at the match when, it's just showing the team's name and stuff like that, as they do in Splatfests.
Cool.
Some changes to the multiplayer, such as modifications to stages. They changed some specs of the main weapons and the specials, and they fixed a bunch of other issues.
Do you still have to go through the initial load screen to play the game?
Only when you turn it on. So
I'm
between modes changing or stages playing and changing and everything, you don't have to.
Oh, that's good. At least I'm still tired of that. I mean, I've said that long as my soapbox,
only
but
when you turn it on, though.
As time goes on, it's like more of an issue than it was before.
I understand.
Okay, so we've got some questions here direct from you. Thank you so much for sending them all in, but we're running not really long. We'll see. We'll just start and we'll see how far we go. Kaiju writes in, Fire Emblem Three Houses is my first real playthrough of a game in the series. Kaiju, by the way, you're welcome. Me and Caroline helped you get there. It's a great game. Glad you bought it. Clearly, there are two appealing gameplay aspects. Friendship and fighting. I love how you did that. It's like such Nintendo. Friendship and fighting. I love how it appeals to both sides of the spectrum. Going in, I thought the fighting and strategy would be my jam, but I've now found that the friendship growing side is very enjoyable too, more so than I imagined. If you had to choose, which side of the gameplay aspect do you enjoy more?
This is a tough one, because I do enjoy the tactical part. This is like the only tactical RPG that I play. And I do love the series for that, but there's something about all of the work that the creators and the developers went into doing every single support conversation possible for each one of these characters. And when you think about it, it's endless. There's thousands of combinations that they had to drabble out and make stories for. And like I said, I really enjoy the school life kind of simulation. And I just really enjoy getting to know people and doing the socialization stuff.
Not that I'm an avid fan of the show, and definitely it's not like dark, but it kind of has like a Game of Thrones vibe. Where you kind of have like all these different...
I see that to an extent.
Like houses and these
Brian
warring factions.
Brian did say that Edelgard has Daenerys' color scheme.
Edelgard is definitely like kind of in that realm, and everything feels like underlyingly political at almost all times. Like you can only sit there and you can answer something and go, am I going to have to answer for that later? Like, is that going to come back to haunt me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Time skip afterwards is like... I was shocked when I had a very lighthearted conversation in the time skip because it's all political.
Yeah. So
Enjoy it while you can. Enjoy it while you can.
I can already kind of see that's where it's going. To answer the question, I have always, first and foremost, as we discussed last week on the show, I've always played Fire Emblem because I like tactical, I won't say tactical RPGs, I like tactical battle strategy games.
Right.
So, yeah. So I mean, that's why I play Fire Emblem. Having played Fire Emblem over the years, I've grown to like some of the little horny life sim stuff that they do with the game. And
come on, Corin's your girl.
Corin is my girl. But this game, through the nature of the monastery and everything, has really ramped it up to another degree. And I would say that if you like those styles of games, these relationship sims and things like that, and you never played Fire Emblem because of the battle tactic stuff, this is the Fire Emblem to give a try because there's so much of that in there that the battle stuff can really be looked at as just like a thing to do to get to the next part.
I touched on this a little bit when I did for our DLC people. I talked about the very first Fire Emblem game last week. And it was all about tactical RPG. Not until Awakening did they add a very heavy emphasis on relationship aspects in the game. So anything before Awakening, you're not going to get that. And I mean, this is really ramping it up for people that haven't played any Fire Emblem games before. This is extremely heavy on the support conversations and the relationship building. Yep,
definitely. So thanks for the question, Kaiju. I hope you stick with it, man. We'll be there every step along the way. Caroline will have the first leg beat by the end of the week. And then I hope to beat it by the time Astral Chain gets here, I hope. I'm going to keep playing it. I'm
going to try and have all legs beat by Astral Chain.
This time is actually, and I mean, I've seen this coming for a long time now, but like I'm feeling the crunch now. I have now reached a point where I've bought too many games. And the only reason I feel that crunch is because I don't want to play something else because I just want to keep playing Fire Emblem. So like I bought Wolfenstein on Xbox. And me and Kevin have had like this standing date to play it that we keep postponing for a bunch of different reasons. But I got to tell you, like, I really don't want to play it right now. Like, I'm just not interested. I'm like, that could be time spent playing Fire. Everything is in that RAM. Like now I'm thinking,
I understand.
All of this could be just time spent playing Fire Emblem. I shouldn't have bought all these games. By the way, I mentioned there is a Wolfenstein like app on the eShop. If you log in, you'll see it's like a free thing. It's not free. By the way, I checked into that. I downloaded and tried to play it. You can play it. You can download it for free and you jump in. You can sign in with your Battle.net account and all that. But it tells you when you go to play it, you have to, it's for people that get a free code, a buddy pass. Oh. That's what you download to put in your code to play it. So it's not like, even though it's free, I thought it was a demo.
Kind of misleading.
Kind of. I thought it was a demo. It's not a demo. Yeah. All right. Next question. Ooh, this is a good one. This comes from Soundscape on Twitter. EA says their data shows that gamers always choose PlayStation and Xbox for third-party games. Do you think their catalog would not perform well on the Switch?
We've been talking about this all day in Discord.
I have been talking about this all day in Discord because I like the EA games. Like, there is a sect of us amongst the PSVG fam that love the sports game. All right, so here's what EA said. Andrew Wilson, I always want to say Andrew House, the PlayStation guy. Andrew Wilson of Electronic Arts was asked a question as to why they don't support the Switch more. And he said something, I'm paraphrasing now. He said something along the lines that they have data that shows that Nintendo fans or Nintendo console owners own other systems and are more likely to buy that game there. That quote has been run across the headlines on all the websites and blogs today as EA hates Nintendo fans. Yeah. And that's not quite what they're saying. Now, as a Nintendo fan, you may not like hearing that because you want all the games. And I get you. I want Madden too. I do. I would buy portable Madden. What he's saying isn't wrong. So what they were kind of saying was, traditionally, Nintendo fans don't buy EA games. That's true. That is true. As I pointed out today, that is true. All you got to do is go to VG Charts, pull up some of the best-selling games that EA has ever done, and just compare across platforms. It's pretty evident. And it goes all the way back to GameCube. And now this is interesting because on GameCube had some of the best versions of the sports games because it was the best console, and it still was sold third best. That sect of customer doesn't typically buy Nintendo stuff. Now, there are those of us that do, so it's not to rule everybody out. It's just small. So the point that I made, Madden 14 was a great selling, or Madden 13 was a great selling Madden game. It came out late on last gen hardware, right? So we're talking Xbox 360, PlayStation 3. This was so late in their life cycle, right? 2013, a year before next gen, came out as a launch game for the Wii U, which launched right then. That game sold 10 million copies on Xbox 360, sold less than 500,000 on Wii U. It was one of only the 30 games you could buy on Wii U for the first year.
That's crazy. It
sold twice as many copies on Vita. How dead was the Vita in 2013? Like, I'm just saying.
How bad was the Wii U?
So exactly. So I mean, I'm not trying to make an excuse. I'm just saying that the numbers prove that they're not wrong. And if they're saying, let's say for example, the Switch has sold, and we should have talked about earning stuff, but I think people are tired of that. The Switch has sold almost 40 million units, right? Let's say they have data that shows that a third, or let's say half of all males between the age of 15 and 35 also have another console. I actually think I threw that number off the top of my head. That actually sounds pretty plausible, right? Like that wouldn't blow anybody's mind. Are you more likely to pay $60 for a stripped down version of Madden on Switch? Or are you more likely to buy it on EA Access, for example, which gives it to you for free or for $30 a year? That's the type of stuff that they're talking about. And if you look at the numbers really do back them up. And if you're thinking, but I want it on portable, I do too. I'm not here to tell you that you're wrong. I want portable Madden too, more than most anything. Like I keep predicting it every E3 show every year. I want portable Madden too. But I mean, there says a lot, like last year's NBA game sold like 9 million copies on Xbox One.
Nothing.
Xbox One has the same install base. Sold less than 500,000 copies on Switch. And they made the game $3. For like a week, it was $3, and still nobody bought it. I didn't buy it on Switch until it was $3. And I love the NBA. It's just, why would you pay for? I do think it comes down to, for the people that like sports games, for the people that like and will buy sports games, why would you pay more for less when you could have the other version?
It's a graphics and a value thing.
Yeah, it's both. There's a lot of different factors that go into it.
Also,
you want to play with your friends, you want to play online. Like, these aren't Nintendo things.
Well, you mentioned, I just am in Nintendo for the niche thing, and EA is not my jam. EA is the popular kid thing to do with your PlayStation 4 and your Xbox, and I have a Nintendo to play Mario. It's
been proven. It's not just an EA thing. It's been proven for a decade. Plus, Nintendo fans, the core that support Nintendo, buy Nintendo to play Nintendo. It's not a sports game thing. That's all third parties. All third parties struggle selling on Nintendo platforms. Even the Wii, you remember if you take your mind back and you put yourself on like an IGN page, a Wii homepage in IGN in like 2011, there were articles like, why aren't third party games selling more on Wii? There's 100 million of them out there. And they were still struggling to sell copies. Why? Because everybody bought a Wii to play one thing, Wii Sports.
Wii Sports.
And 80 million people were happy with that. And the other 20 million wanted to play Zelda and Mario. They didn't care about the rest. Like, so that's always been a thing. It's always been a thing. So it's hard pressed,
I'm thinking,
it's a tough road.
Aside from The Sims, the only EA stuff that I've played, sports wise that I cared about was SSX. And that series has been dead.
Well, they got Steep. No, it was Ubisoft. That was Ubisoft. So they put Unravel and Unravel 2 on Switch, right?
Yes.
I'm wondering if those didn't sell well. Because like FIFA on Switch did 1 million. I looked that up today, which is not like 1 million's good. 1 million is business worth doing.
But I want to know
FIFA
how many...
does so much more than 1 million on everything else. It's still small.
The problem is, FIFA is not soccer in general is not as big as it is in America as it is in Europe.
FIFA's the world game.
Japan, yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So they are going to probably sell. I'd be interested to see how much of that million is in Europe.
If they put Switch on Madden, if they put Madden on Switch, it couldn't get 1 million copies, I don't think. I think it would be hard to get 1 million. I think you could get a half, maybe. Now, the thing that I've always kind of wanted them to do, even though, I mean, it's against their business model, but I've always wondered, and I think they would never do it because they don't want to hurt their other franchises, but I've always wondered if they would just release a game on Switch and just call it Madden, and then sell, like, roster updates year over year. So it's just Madden, but every year you give them $10 and they update your game. They give you the newest information, but they don't change the engine or anything like that, but they keep supporting it. They keep giving you new Ultimate Team cards and things like that. I've always kind of thought that.
Makes more sense, yeah.
Yeah, but that kills their business model on all the other platforms where they charge people $60 every year for Madden. So I don't think they'd ever do it, but that's the way to fix it. But yeah, sorry, Nintendo fans. I just don't think the EA stuff is, and it sucks because it's not just a Madden thing. That's the example I use, but it's a Star Wars thing, it's a Battlefront thing, and you also got to remember it's a Frostbite thing. Like to downport their EA games over, like that's not cheap for them. Frostbite doesn't run well on Xbox One X, right? Like we've talked about Frostbite for a long time. It doesn't run well on good hardware. It sure as hell ain't gonna run well on a tablet. So, it's not cheap. Okay, I love this question. Chalfie asks, talk me into or out of rebuying a Wii U?
That's yours.
But you pick one. I've been talking.
I'm looking over at my games right now, just to tell you. Yoshi's Woolly World. Oh, I got a list on my computer. Hold on. I got a list, because I have a running list of things that I own and things that I'm getting. My Wii U collection is almost complete, by the way. I think I only have 10 games left to get, which is impressive considering, I pretty much didn't sell anything that I bought. Bayonetta 2? Captain Toad, you can, I won't, all right.
I was going to say, all these games you're announcing are available on Switch.
Yep, I know. Good lord. Kirby and the Rainbow Curse. Twilight Princess HD and Wind Waker HD.
Mm-hmm.
Ninja Gaiden 3, if that's your jam. Nintendo Land, as we talked about last week. The original Splatoon. Where Super Mario 3D World is probably the best one that we still haven't gotten a port of. Okay?
It's so good.
Xenoblade Chronicles X and Yoshi's Woolly World. Yeah.
Okay.
You've got a good... The Wii U, the only reason we didn't have a better library is because they closed the doors on it. And I feel like we would have gotten, we did get Breath of the Wild for it. It was just the last release, I believe.
Terrible. Terrible version.
But, it's just, I feel like their library was great. It's just they had bigger and better plans.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Chalfie.
I like the gamepad too.
This question is totally aimed at me, somebody who's bought multiple Wii U's and has hacked and modded a Wii U and bought my in-laws a Wii U. The reason that you should buy a Wii U, first and foremost, is Nintendo's legacy. Take a look at the consoles and the systems that have flopped from Nintendo. Just pick 2 or 3, grab a Virtual Boy and a GameCube collection. Go put that into eBay and see what pops back at you. That's why you should get a Wii U before it's too late. Because right now you can get one for about $100 on GameStop's website, like the special editions. They are letting them go as fast as it can. This is an extremely limited console because it sucked. It sold terribly. There's only 14 million of them out there in the world. Be one of the 14 million that got one and sit on it for a while. That's the best reason I can give you to buy a Wii U. That's just for finance. Because I bet you in a couple years you'll be able to double that $100 investment. Easy, especially if you have the games that come with it. Even if they release on Switch. Because guess what? If there's people out there like Caroline, she can't just have the Switch version. She's got to have the GameCube version and the Wii version, because that's how crazy Nintendo fans are. All right, so there's your good reason. The Donnie reason is Nintendo Land. You've got to, like, the Wii U had experiences that you just can't. It's like buying VR. There's games that you can play on Wii U that you just can't play anywhere else. And the Switch will never be able to do it, and they won't be able to do it the same way. And you add into the fact that currently, right now, the eShop over there is still open. You can still load that thing up, even if you don't want to hack it, which I should tell you, you should totally hack it. But even if you don't want to hack it, you can still load that thing up full of Super Nintendo games, NES games, GameCube games. It's a great legacy box. I believe, Caroline, the Wii U can play more Zelda games than any other Nintendo console ever made. It is the perfect Zelda legacy box. Buy it and put every Zelda game you can get on it. It's got every Wii version of them.
Console goes away.
There you go. So it's a great box for that, right? And then the third option, if you ever wanted to dabble into the black magic arts of the underbelly of the world, you can hack that thing and run anything you want on it. It's basically open. You can put GameCube games on it. You can put GameCube games on it. You can do all kinds of things, and it's super fun to do that with. There's a lot of value to have it at its current price. I'm not here to tell you it's the greatest console in the world and all that. I'm here to tell you at its current price, with its legacy. Think about the legacy of the Wii U. The important, I won't say nostalgia because not that many people had it, but the importance of the programs and the things that it started for the Switch later. Think about Amiibo and its importance to Nintendo and what the Wii U represented for that. There will be a collector's niche for Wii U stuff down the road. It will happen. Especially as people move to the Switch and they throw their units away. There's already been articles, by the way. You go Google Polygon and stuff. There are already articles about how hard the Wii U's are already starting to become. There's not that many of them out there anymore. People have gotten rid of them. They've lost them. The gamepads have broke, things like that, and they've moved on. And this will be one of those things that I think, especially as the collector and the digital market keeps continuing to go. I mean, we saw from Nintendo sales figures this week, half of their game stores are almost digital purchases now. As that continues to rise, the Wii U can run Wii games. It's a perfect, instead of keeping your Wii around that everybody had, get a Wii U and just put all your Wii games on it. It has all the Wiimotes. Yeah,
let me tell you, running Xenoblade 1 on my Wii was a chug. Really hard. I threw it in my Wii U and there was no problem whatsoever.
Spiffies it right up. And unlike the Wii, it connects via HDMI. It's a modern way to do that. Yep. Somebody asked, what was the easiest way to play a Wii game on a modern TV? And I just responded with a picture of Wii U. Yeah. For sure. He was trying to find some hack thing and an adapter. I was like, what are you talking about? The easiest way to play this is theirs. You can buy one of these
that I got, the HDMI RCA thing, but do you want to drop $40 on one?
I'm hoping that they have some crazy big blowout eShop sale before they finally close it up and call it quits. But I still have a little Wii U wish list that every now and again I dabble and go pick up a virtual console game or two in there. I don't have many because mine is hacked. And the cool thing about hacking it is the entire operating system, everything is the same way. So if you've ever explored some console hacks, if the Wii hack in the day, it looked like you had the homebrew logo and everything popped up, it looks like garbage. My Wii U just looks like a Wii U. Open it, the tiles come up, the Mii's run around, and I just have tiles for GameCube games. It's just an icon. You click it, and it starts up, and GameCube picture pops up. It's really clean. It's really nice. So that's the best thing I can tell you to do, man. Get that bad boy.
Popo are coming to Donnie's house tonight.
Get that bad boy and hack the shit.
Coming to Donnie's house.
Do it before it's too late.
Before my husband comes and sues you.
Why could they sue us? At least I bought one. Sue the people that did. Nintendo should be like, thank you so much. How many Wii U's did you buy again? Wow. But yeah, the non-hack version, Nintendo Land. I don't know what they're thinking of doing on Switch, but I guarantee you it won't be the same. And I think Nintendo Land will be one of those. It's going to be one of those, Caroline. It's going to be like Earthbound. It's going to be like your Harvest Moon. It's going to be one of those. You give it 20 years, people are going to be like, I know. You remember that Nintendo Land game that we can't find? That's why
I'm trying to get the 10 games that I need. I think the most expensive one that I need to get is Devil's Third.
I have that game.
One. Do you really?
I do.
You have the physical?
No.
Oh, no. I need the physical, and it's $70.
That's an interesting game. We should talk about that game one day. That is an interesting game. That is a weird game. Not nearly as awful as people think it is.
11.
People gave that game a 2 and a 3 out of 10. It's not that bad. It's kind of fun, but it's super old. It feels like an original Xbox action game, Siphon Filter on PlayStation 1 or something, but it's kind of fun.
11 more games.
There's a segment where you bust out of jail and there's a 4-minute drum solo.
What?
That's what I'm saying. It's super weird in the Kojima pseudo way. It's weird, man. The game gets real weird. There's like all these lights and stuff, and then the doors bust open. But it's like in the bottom of a jail. It's like, why does he have a drum set? And there's like tiger print, and like it's weird. It's weird. Yep. That's a good one. Oh, thanks, Chalfie. I brought this one because I thought it was good. Devolver Digital in their Twitter were asking their fans. So they've brought all these Switch games that we've talked about for a long time, Ape Out and My Friend Pedro and all that. So they asked Switch fans, what do you want next? Which, if you looked it up, was just a constant stream of people saying Hotline Miami and Hotline Miami 2. I'm kind of amazed that those aren't here yet. So I bet they're probably going to do that. That makes sense. This
isn't my question. I was scared by their live E3 thing, so I don't think I will ever buy any of their games.
Oh, really? Oh, you got to buy a couple of them.
They did show something that I was interested in. I can't remember what it was.
Was it really like the monster and you rip all the people in the laboratory apart? Because that game looked awesome.
No, does that sound like my kind of game?
It was like Stranger Things, except you play as the Demogorgon.
I don't remember what it was. I just remember looking at it and thinking, this looks cute.
Yeah, I don't remember what that is off the top of my head, but like Hotline Miami and Hotline Miami 2 are great games. And those should come to Switch. And I'd imagine after that tweet that they're probably just teasing that they're going to do that. Other games that I know that they've done is Absolver and Ruiner. Ruiner, which I played on Game Pass on Xbox, I really like a lot. It's kind of like Travis Strikes Again. I've talked about it a little bit. I think both of those games would be great on Switch. And to be kind of honestly, like the game I was talking about, by the way, is called Carrion. It's a pretty cool game. Oh, and the other one, I'm looking at their website. One of the ones they talked about was a game called Devolver Bootleg, which they launched for PC. So it's basically like these 8-bit versions of games they have. So it's like an 8-bit version of like Ape Out, which they call Ape Out Junior. And it's a little collection of these little games, of these little like NES versions of games they already have. So there's like a Hotline Miami ripoff. There's an Enter the Gungeon ripoff. There's they have a Catsylvania. It's a cat inside a suit of armor. It's a cat in full plate armor. What else do you want? Buy our game is what it says on their website.
Super cute.
Yeah, so I would totally be down for the Devolver bootleg to hop over to Switch. But I love Devolver. I know Dev does too.
It's gonna bother me that I can't remember what it was called. That there was a moment where I was looking at the live stream. I was like, "Wow, I got normal for a second, and that actually looks like a cute game."
Don't judge them off of those shows. Those shows.
That was. Oh, I know what it was. It was Minute. That one where you have a minute.
Minute is already on Switch.
It's already out. It's already out.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing it. But you're like running around. Yep. You have a minute to progress, and then you reset. And you have a minute to progress, and you reset.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't judge Devolver by their shows. Their shows are like they're. It's really them. Like they've always been this way.
It's Adult Swim on crack.
Yeah, dude. but it's them mocking the industry. Like it's very tongue in cheek, self aware. Like it's them like to an extreme making fun of everybody else that does this.
Good Lord.
You should watch the one from last year where they had like cardboard cutouts in the crowd and they made them cheer when they did a thing. And
that was Limited Run.
Was it?
That was Limited Run.
Maybe I have a mistake.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm misremembering.
Limited Run.
No, because didn't like the girl's head explode and like blood went all over the.
I don't know about that. I don't think that happened on. Ooh. Yeah, but.
Send us corrections, Caroline. Yeah. All right, before we get out of here, today marks an anniversary, the 30th anniversary of the Game Boy launching in North America. Happened today. What was your favorite Game Boy game?
Probably Pokemon Red.
Okay. Yeah,
definitely Pokemon.
I don't have Game Boy, so
I know you don't.
I won't answer. I'll save everybody the. What Zelda came out on Game Boy? The Link's Awakening?
Link's Awakening, and
the one we're getting remade. I know. Well, Jason lists his favorite Zelda game.
It's a great game.
I'm going to answer on behalf of Jason. Zelda's Awakening, or Link's Awakening, whatever it's called. Zelda's Awakening. All right, that's going to do it for our show this week on the Nintendo Shack podcast. We just released DLC over there on the Patreon at patreon.com/PSVG. It's an interesting episode with quite the interesting story. And this week we're doing our Patreon giveaway. which all of our Patreon subscribers are entitled and entered into. And we'll pick a name out of the hat on PSVG Prime this week, and you'll have your option to get, what are we up to? We've got a gift card, we've got Apex money, and we've got a hacked PlayStation Classic, and we have NBA 2K Playgrounds 2. What a terrible name, by the way. It's just an awful name.
Two.
Yeah, it's too many twos. And then we'll have announcements for next month. So yeah, stay tuned. But if you've guys, if you've never thought about it, I've been saying for weeks now, give it a try for $1 and check out DLC. Just listen to one episode, like Rebecca did this week. And I keep looking at my email, wondering if she's going to cancel the show. Rebecca's canceled her pledge. No. But we had a lot of fun with DLC this week, and the Battle Pass, which is the patron private room in Discord, has been lit this week. Has been fire, and I've loved it. It's been so much fun. We've had a bunch of new folks jump in. We had like 5 new patrons this week. It's been great. So you guys are missing out. Give it a try. That's it for me, Caroline. Do you have anything you'd like to close with?
I'm gonna go play Fire Emblem some more.
Wow, lucky you. That'll do it. Good night, Koopalings.